In this video, we're going to take the measurements that we need to draft our front bodice. And in the explanation sheet that you downloaded from the resources, there's an explanation at the top on tie a string around your neck and your waist and let it fall on its natural contour of your waistline and neck. That way, when you take your measurements, they will be very accurate and you'll have a very accurate draft when we do the front draft. The first measurement that we need is the full width of bust. And we take this measurement by measuring down 1.5 inches below the arm's eye and measure around the fullest part of the bust to the arm's eye point and record that. And record all of your numbers on the bodice measurement sheet that you downloaded from the resources. The second measurement that we need, is very important, is the above bust measurement, which is 2.5 inches up from the full width of bust. We measure around the above bust from side seam to side seam over to the apex point and record that. The next measurement that we need is the bust point distance from apex to apex. It's a very important measurement. We're going to use half of this measurement in the draft. The next measurement that we need is the depth of bust measurement. We measure down from the nape of the neck down to the fullest part of the bust at the apex, and we record. The next measurement is the full length. We measure down through the fullest part of the apex, keeping the tape snug on the midriff down to the waist point, and you record that. Next we have the center length, which if your elastic or your string is on your neck, at the point where it is laying, we put the tape down the center front, down to the waist point at the center front, where the string is laying. That would be the accurate point. The across chest measurement, we start at the shoulder tip and we measure 4 inches down the arm's eye, and we cross over the arm's eye across the above bust over to the arm's eye, and that is your across chest. The slope of shoulder, we start at the tip of the shoulder and we measure over the fullest part of the apex down to the center front and down to the center front waist point. The across shoulder, we start at the shoulder tip, across the center front, the neck bones at the base of the neck, over to the shoulder tip. The shoulder width is going to be used for the front and the back draft. We start at the base of the neck, down to the shoulder tip, and record. The full side length, we start at the shoulder tip 4 inches down the arm's eye over to the side seam, down to the center side seam waist. And record that. The center side length, measure 1.5 inches down the arm's eye and down the side seam to your waist point. And that is your center side length. Your front waist measurement is you measure over from side seam around the front to the side seam. Next, we need our waist measurement. And this is only going to be the front waist. From the side seam on the front around your natural waistline over to the side seam is your front waist measurement. Your front hip measurement starts 7 inches down the side seam, or to the fullest part of your hip. Now, it may or may not be 7 inches. Whichever the fullest part of the hip, that's where you start. And you measure over 7 inches down from side seam across the fullest part of your front hip and record that. And that concludes the taking the measurements for your front bodice draft. In the next video, we're going to take the measurements for the back bodice draft. I'll see you in the next video.